शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In this session, we are going to take up a $1,000,000 question, as they put it. And what is that great question? It is no other than, what is the nature of attachment, which is supposed to be the main obstacle between realization and us? To put in other words, what is true detachment? We are supposed to graduate from attachment to detachment. And there is a lot of confusion about both these. Bhagavad Gita, for that matter, goes into this issue of detachment. Almost in every 10 verses, you have some form of mention of this. I must draw your attention. Most of you are familiar with the shlokas of Gita. Therefore, I must draw your attention to a number of words, all of which boil down to attachment only. At places it is raga, ragadvesha. At some other place it is sanga. Sanga also is attachment. Yet another place it is sakti. And yet another place it is rasa. And some other place words like moha, and so on. A number of ways Sri Krishna uses these psychological factors which are universally found. And really speaking, among all of us, even among those who have studied the books, a good number of us do not want to do anything about our own attachments. We are always ready to advise others that they should give up their attachments. As far as we ourselves are concerned, we dream of, as the English idiom goes, have the cake and eat it too. We want to be with our attachments, whether it is a cup of coffee in the morning within 15 minutes of our getting up, or some other intimate human relationship. All these, we don't want to make any change. But then let me not sound too pessimistic. There are among us some who in fact are into various vrata, anushtana, upavasa, niyama, and so on. About them, Lord Krishna himself has a word of appreciation. In the famous portion of Sthita Prajna, Sri Krishna says, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha. Nirahara literally means those who do upavasa, do not eat, and so on. But in a larger sense, whoever does some kind of sadhana, getting up early morning, sitting in meditation, or at different times doing some japa, whatever, all of that is in a larger sense included in nirahara. And Lord Krishna says, Vishayaha vinivartante. Then all these sense objects in our mind go away. In other words, we do experience a high degree of detachment. However, Sri Krishna adds an adverb in that famous shloka. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam. That is the adverb. Rasavarjam means leaving behind rasa, which is nothing but a subtle form of raga. Rasa is there deep in us. We may not take coffee for 20 days, for 40 days, but on the 41st day, for which we have been waiting, because it was a 40 days vrata, 41st day we have been counting down. 3 more days, 2 more days, 1 more day. And so what makes us go and grab for a king size? In America, they call it Texas size cup of coffee. Why? There was rasa. Though for 40 days we did not take a drop of coffee, rasa varjam. So this rasa in us remains, but don't think Lord Krishna pours cold water on our enthusiasm. Rather, he in that very shloka says, Rasopi asya param drishtva nivartate. Stay put, stay on, don't give up. Effort will lead to the blissful, effortless state, and then param drishtva, you will have glimpses of that supreme truth. Therefore, there are three levels. One, who doesn't want to change. Second, who is striving a lot, but then deep vasanas, tendencies are still in him or her. Third is the Paramatma Darshana has taken place. So before I share with you some 6 punchlines and the corresponding benchmarks, I wish to make 1 or 2 more comments. By the way, a good friend of ours he nowadays lives in Oregon, um, you know, uh, he has written to me, Swamiji, change the title, don't call it punchline. Maybe in his mind, punchline takes him to wrestling and boxing and so on. He says, make it pearls of wisdom. Well, that is what we mean, but we employed a language of the wrestling domain. So before those 6 punchlines of this session, I must tell you that attachment is certainly the main obstacle. Sri Krishna, for example, in that very Sthita Prajna Lakshana, mentions it several times. In the famous couplet, 2 verses, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate. It all began, in the case of every one of us, with some kind of thinking about sense objects or some position or some pleasure of becoming somebody, dhyana, and then sangha. Many a time, our first mistake would have been out of mere curiosity. We just are curious. What if I enjoy that object? What if I sit on that chair? What if I wear that dress which he is wearing? And so on. Some kind of curiosity. You had it. As you think more and more out of curiosity, it soon arouses in you sangha. Sangat sanjayate kamaha, etc. That is the long story. And to quickly mention one more in that very portion, couple of stanzas further down, Sri Krishna says, Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischaran atmavashyair vidheyatma prasadamadi prasannata. If you and I want to come upon true serenity of mind, the first step is go through life situations, go through daily scenarios without raga and dvesha. Raga dvesha viyuktaihi vishayan indriyaischharam. Therefore, all the chapters, Bhagavan Krishna increases our awareness of the mischief, if not harm, that these attachments cause to us. You and I hear so much about it. We hear so many wonderful parables, illustrative stories. We come to know about shining examples of Virakta Purushas or Virakta Mahilas. And after all that, we find overcoming our own attachments is next to impossible. Therefore, let's see how in this great work of Veda Vyasa in the Mahabharata. Okay. Hmm. Um, just a moment. It's always as we get used to this. Uh, so this session's topic is what is attachment? What is this Sangha? What is this Sakti? What is this Raga? What is this Rasa? Call it as you may. And we are going to examine even as Lord Krishna sings away his glorious song. He is having great fun at all that is happening in the universe. And don't say he is very unfair in that. He says, I have given you the secret. Open up, receive my message, and you are free. So the first slide that we share with you is the most celebrated metaphor in the Bhagavad Gita on the state of detachment. We want to understand true detachment. And in the fifth chapter, Sri Krishna gives to us that immortal illustration, the lotus leaf, which is first of all upon water. The plant is in water. As though that is not enough, many drops of water, because of passing breeze, fall right upon the leaf. However, the leaf does not get wet. ब्रह्मण्याधाय कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यते न स पापेन padmapatram iva ambhasa. Just as padmapatra, the lotus leaf, does not get wet by ambhas, water, the person who has on one hand surrendered to God, who carries loving devotion to God in his heart all the time. And on the other hand, Sangam Tyaktva, even though he is buying and selling, even though he is living with his spouse, children, even though he has house, bank balance, even though he or she, for example, I'll use he, it means he or she, even though he is into some social work also, all kinds of interactions. Amidst all that, just like amidst water, the leaf doesn't get wet, this person does not internally get affected. Outwardly, as we shall say more on that, outwardly he also seems to be disappointed at times and celebrating at other times. He also is smiling and he goes grim at times. That is the outer scene. If someone has true detachment, there is some magic inside him. Even as victory and defeat, gain and loss take place, internally, it's like how you reset the computer. Sometimes you and I have some really good, expensive smartphone, but even that doesn't work. Then we say, I know what to do. We turn it off and then we turn it on again. It's functioning properly. Likewise, this person with true detachment is able to reset as though his own operating system. Though amidst water, the lotus leaf does not get wet. And this is a description. This is not a prescription. This is not in the language of should or should not, though it is implied that we must be detached. But at this moment, it is for us to take note of. There is a state of being where we do not get affected, we do not get bound. The well known example in India is how people open the jackfruit. If one does not know, one has no experience, one cuts it open and puts one's hands into the jackfruit, and the waxy substance that is over there comes all over one's hands. But those of us who have done it once or twice and have learned perhaps the hard way, we know. Typically in South India, in some parts, it is coconut oil that they smear on the hand. With coconut oil smeared upon hands, we can get into the jackfruit, take out the edible parts, and our hands do not get caught in all that wax. Analogies and analogies, metaphors and metaphors, illustrations and illustrations, and numerous case studies. Be like King Janaka, be like Shukamuni, be like that sage, this rishi, that lady, this man. We are told, but all of it doesn't seem to really help us, as we have put in a box below. Spiritual ripeness, it's a ripening process. With bookish knowledge, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyaha, neither by hearing 1,000 pravachans, nor by delivering pravachans, one comes upon this spiritual ripeness. But no effort is a waste. We must continue to put in our effort, for the ripening takes place on a different level, and all our effort yields its fruits at the right time. We must have the faith. Therefore, Sri Krishna is talking about this Padmapatra. You may say, but what do we learn here? We learn a very important thing. We learn the teaching that the lotus leaf doesn't have to be away, 10 meters away from the pond, right? Being in the midst of water, it remains unaffected. Likewise, we should understand it's not about running away from home, it's not about closing our bank balance, it's not about stopping talking with our family members or anybody. No, be with them, find right balance. You have to work on your own inner energies, find moderation, and then improve the quality of relationship. Continue to be related with your husband or wife, but improve the quality. If anything or in any matter you have been overdoing, tone it down. If anything or in any matter with family members and so on, you are shirking responsibility. You are just looking in another direction when they expect you to give a helping hand. For heaven's sake, detachment requires that you don't shirk your responsibility. Wherever possible, to the extent possible, give a helping hand to members of the family. All of us have to fine tune our relationship. Right detachment is not about keeping away, but it is about relating in the best possible way, where there is no trace of selfishness. Neither running away nor getting too close, but doing what needs to be done. Therefore, it is very important that this lotus leaf example is given here, not going away from water, but amidst water, the quality enrichment has to be seen. Then we have, I take you from chapter 5 to chapter 15, And a lot of you know the whole chapter, Purushottama Yoga, which begins with a bang, which begins with that very intriguing illustration of the people tree but turned upside down. Urdhvamulam adashakam, right? In the third verse of that very 15th chapter, we have the line about Asanga, and the shloka begins like this. Na rupamasyeha tathopalabhyate nanto na chadir na cha sampratishtha ashvattamenam suvirudha moolam asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. The fourth quarter is our chosen punchline. With the sword of detachment, cut this tree at the very roots of the tree. Asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. Stop talking about detachment, but come upon that mental state by being more alert at the time of challenge, not in retrospect later, not one day before saying, announcing to the world, tomorrow I'm going to be very careful. But when that tomorrow actually comes, we forget what we had announced. I believe there was a son in a family. Any Swami came to the town, this 20-year-old son would run to the satsang and attend all that, come home. And his mother was very worried that this son might become a sannyasi. See, we have in all our families a very intriguing scenario. Every mother is very happy and proud of a neighbor boy becoming a sannyasi. Look at him, how spiritual he is. But if her own son is planning to become a sannyasi, she says, Rama Rama, what is going on? So, in the case of this son, the mother was very concerned and she every day said to her husband, please do something. Our son is going to all these satsangs and sadhus, and if he leaves us, what will happen? This went on and on. And the son indeed was showing signs of leaving home, disappearing somewhere. But the father was very mature. Father was watching. And it seems after some Swami came and gave some lectures for 7 days and went away, the son was talking very less at home, etc. The father one day said to the son, the daughter, the wife, and everybody, he said, you know, you talk about or think about leaving home. Do you know how people leave home? And the wife, the son, all of them asked, how do they leave? And the father, go to good old days story. On the wall, on a little hook, there was a towel, bath towel. That's how in olden days homes we used to hang a towel on the wall. He just took that towel and put it upon his shoulder. Those who leave home leave like this. And he just walked out of the home. And all were watching. What is he trying to show? What is he trying to say? He walked and walked and walked. After some 5 minutes, they wondered, where did he go? And in this short story, the story takes a very unexpected turn. That father never came back. He just disappeared. After all, he was the father of the son who had great interest in all satsangs. And the message that the son got was, like you talk about it, right? Barking dogs do not bite. The son last 5 years was constantly saying, oh, this Swamiji spoke so well. Oh, that speaker was so good. And I feel like joining his ashram. 5 years the son is talking, barking dog, but never did anything. The father just left. This is not my advice to any father here. Don't do this tomorrow. But the point is, the detachment is not a matter of knowing a lot of words. It is not even appreciating satsangs on a superficial level. To cut the attachment with the sword of detachment is is a totally different ball game. No trace of anger. Many people misunderstand vairagya to be the opposite of raga. When you are attached, you love money, you love woman, you love man, you love big house, you love some other position and so on. And they think vairagya means you hate all of them. Oh, no, 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 no. It is not going from one to the opposite. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, this is said at many places where Sri Krishna talks about dvandvair vimuktaha, free from opposites, ragadvesha viyukta, free from the two extremes. Therefore, if one is detached from money, no question of looking down at money. One uses money when needed. One accepts, welcomes pleasure, but is not clinging to pleasure. If pleasure comes one's way, one says fine. If pleasure is not available, one says all right. So it is not about going from attachment to aversion, rather, it is to have a different understanding. What is this different understanding? We realize everything has a place in life, but I should not be dependent, psychologically dependent. I should not lose my freedom in the name of I love my wife, I love my house, I love my new car, I love my new designation and whatever. No matter what you love, it's good, but look inside. Are you becoming dependent, slavishly dependent? For some reason, if what you love leaves you, will you be totally devastated? Just ask yourself, then the necessary course correction takes place. We go to a third of the punchlines and we go to the 14th chapter. Lord Sri Krishna, as you know well, in the 14th chapter talks about Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Whole chapter talks about sattvic state of mind, rajasic state of mind, and tamasic state of mind. In the very definition he gives of rajas, describing its nature, he says, Rajo ragatmakam vidhi. When Rajoguna is in ascent, is predominant, you will find you are attached. Ragatmakam. And that shloka says, Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. Trishna means thirst. Trishna means wanting more and more. It is said Yayati, who enjoyed life so much, even when he got old, did not want to withdraw from enjoyments. And in that very amazing story that appears in many epics, perhaps Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, everywhere, I guess, Yayati takes the youthfulness of his youngest son and enjoys even more for some more years. Then, out of some punya he had performed somewhere, he gets the insight. And there is the famous shloka. Najatu kama kamanam upabhogena shamyati havisha krishna vartmeva bhuya eva abhivardate. Just as fire, when we pour some fuel to it, has taller and longer tongues shooting from it. Fire asks for more fuel. Our mind too asks for more. That is the nature of rajas. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi. In fact, it will be good homework for any of you to take Bhagavad Gita and see if there is any chapter where raga is not discussed, attachment is not discussed. Even the first chapter where Lord Krishna says only 5 words, that is not spiritual instruction. Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kurun. These are the 5 words. Sri Krishna speaks in the first chapter. O Partha, take a look at these Kauravas who have got together here. That is all he says. But in the very first shloka of Dhritarashtra, there is mention of attachment. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamakaha. Dhritarashtra says, what did my sons do and those Pandavas do? So the word Mamaka has the smell of attachment, which you and I have aplenty. Therefore, Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi. Rajas gives us a lot of sense of achievement many a time, but at the end of it all, it leaves behind some hurt, some regret, and some kind of dissatisfaction. Therefore, we must go above Rajas. So, detachment is going from Rajas to Sattva. We must labor to understand the nature of Sattva. Then we have the shloka there come in completeness. Rajo ragatmakam viddi Trishna sanga samudbhavam tan nibadnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. The Vedanta is uncompromising in telling us karma can never give us mukti, and Rajoguna showing some reward or other, tempting us to something or the other, ties us down to endless karma. Do, do, and do, and with some selfish desire. Nishkama karma is the way to exit, but sakama karma is an endless journey. So, in 18th chapter, Sri Krishna talks about what it is to be sattvic. What it is to be sattvic in the context of going about our day's work. We have, every one of us has many things to do. More tasks we complete, our list of tasks to be done again grows longer. 24 hours are not enough for us. But then Geeta says, don't worry. Look at the list of tasks. Today I have to perform all this. Now, what is most important is to do them all with inner detachment. What is inner detachment? Like a picture shows here in this slide, it's like a tightrope walk. If you go little too much to the left, you will fall off. If you go little too much to the right, you will fall off. Just limited movement to left or right. And what is left and right here? Raga is left and Dvesha is right. So, person with detachment is agile, is efficient, but no psychological dependence. What is meant by no psychological dependence? Not easy again, but let me give you an illustrative story. I believe there was a certain villager who became famous in his village for his extra intelligence and very wonderful good behavior and whatnot. His fame spread far and wide and reached the king of the country. That there is somebody in that small town who is so smart and so wise. So the king called for him, gave him some position in his court, and to make the long story short, in about 2 years, this man was promoted to become the prime minister of that kingdom. And this prime minister now, villager turned prime minister, was performing everything very well. But there was something strange about him. His servants at his palatial accommodation reported to the king. Every morning, this villager, who is now the prime minister, while leaving home, goes to one of the rooms, closes the door behind him, then comes out after 2 minutes, locks that room. Even servants don't know what is in that room. And the king got so curious. The king asked the prime minister a couple of times, I believe you go to one room in your house and then you come out after 2 minutes. What do you do and what is the secret? And the Prime Minister says, please don't ask me about that. That makes the king's curiosity even more. And then one day, when somehow the king ensures that the Prime Minister is far away, the king goes to the Prime Minister's house, breaks open that door, goes inside, and all he sees is a little cupboard and opens the cupboard. There is a kambal. Kambal means a blanket. The blanket, the black woolen blanket, which shepherds put on their shoulder when they look after sheep. This villager used to look after sheep at his village in the good old days. And he had kept that shepherd's blanket in a little cupboard. Every morning he would look at it and remind himself, I began as a shepherd, and who knows, God willing, I'll continue as the Prime Minister. But if God's will is different, I may have to go back to the village. It is all Lord Krishna's wish. Saying this, he would spend a minute or two in the room. That was his secret. Now, that is what you and I may have to do. We don't have to have a kambal or some such thing, but in our own way, here and there, time and again, we must examine. We love people, we love places, we love some food. That is natural. But here and there, let's examine. Has my love for this lady or that man, this child or that person, this food or that car, has anything gone way beyond? Is it within limits? And if our inner voice says, no, you have been blinded by this particular attachment, then do some sadhana. Pray God. Pray God. God, make me position myself properly. I do not want to have psychological dependence. Neither I want to be dependent on X or Y, nor I want X or Y to be dependent on me. May they also enjoy the happiness of true detachment. May those people also, wife or children, and so on, may they also have bhakti and vairagya. And Lord, give me also vairagya and bhakti. And anchored in bhakti and vairagya, which of course include jnana automatically, bhakti, jnana and vairagya, we remain husband and wife, we remain parents and children, we remain colleagues and business partners, we remain in various relationships. It's not that we want to run away from any relationship, but if we are anchored in bhakti and jnana, which is possible through vairagya, then all these relationships are great, wonderful. They really make our life very rich. With this understanding, we get going with the tightrope walk, and we are active in our own ways. We look as attached as others, as the bullet says, but we are not. Inside, there is a different understanding. Therefore, we have raga dveshata kritam. So that is sattvika karma, niyatam sangarahitam, raga dveshata kritam, afala prepsuna karma, yattat sattvika muchyate. You must see the verses before and after this 18.23. It gives a beautiful picture of contrast between areas where we work out of attachment and areas where there is a balanced outlook towards everything. Now, last but one, we have two more punchlines. Bhakti joins hands with Vairagya. Bhakti, a bhakta is free of raga, and when we are free of raga, the path of bhakti becomes easier. In the last verse of chapter 11, Vishwarupa Darshana, Sri Krishna gives five, five pieces of advice at one go. This is one of the very, very wonderful summaries of how our sadhana should be. The last verse of chapter 11. Mat karma krit mat paramo mat bhaktaha sangha varjitaha nirmamo nirahankaraha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yassamameti pandava. Yes. So, of special importance for us is third and fourth. After mat karma mat paramaha, mat bhaktaha sangha varjita, 4 and 5. Sangha varjita and nirvairaha. Sangha varjita is freedom of raga and nirvairaha is free from dvesha. My devotee necessarily has to have no sangha, no attachment to things of the world. Prahlada, whose picture we have given here, had all love, had all sympathy. He was one of the best well-wishers of his father Hiranyakashipu. But he did not get attached to his father to toe his line because my father says I will give up Hari. No, at no cost. Therefore, without the least trace of wishing his father ill, no dvesha at all, nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu, and sanghavarjitaha, without getting attached to anybody else in the royal family, neither attached to anybody, nor hating anybody, nor blaming anybody. He just anchored himself in Hari Bhakti. That is how he was protected from all kinds of calamities and dangers. So, friends, the challenge before us is not easy. We are asked in the Gita, love all. And we say, yeah, that's what I like to do. I want to love all. The second part is hard. Be attached to none. Love all, but be attached to none. When I was growing up in my childhood, very rarely I went to some English movies. Even if I went, I would not understand much, but we would go sometimes. And one of the movies that came to our town had an interesting title. Love them all and kill them all and come back alone. Some kind of dushum story. Some, maybe cowboy story or something which had a lot of fight and battle and all that kind of physical heroism. Kill them all and come back alone. And that title itself made many of us young boys want to go and see it. Now Sri Krishna also is saying something. Love all, but don't get stuck with anybody. Don't get attached to anyone. Either getting attached or coming home with some kind of hatred about somebody. You and I work at many places. Some people we like, some people we don't like. And you know how difficult it is. Generally, we carry memories, pleasant memories of some, and we grind our teeth when we remember a couple of people. Even now we get a chance, we would like to teach them a lesson. That is not acceptable to Lord Krishna. Sri Krishna says, Mat karma krit, mat paramaha, mat bhaktaha, 3. And the last two are Sanghavarjitaha, nirvairaha. So the challenge is to love all but not get attached to anyone. Therefore, we in our comment have said, can we be rich in being of service to everybody, but at the same time make the least of selfish demands? I serve you, but I don't demand that you listen to me, listen to everything that I say. I do not demand that you act as per my wishes and so on. I am here to be of service to you. This is not easy, but the good news is it becomes easy with sadhana. with our anchoring ourselves in love of God. Last but not the least, in chapter 13, Sri Krishna says, as you know, there are 20 fabulous values: Amanitva, Madambitva, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Rarjavam, and so on. 20 of them packed in 5 shlokas. And in the 10th verse of chapter 13, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, he in fact talks of several forms of detachment. It's not just the one which I have mentioned. In fact, he mentions asaktihi in those 5 verses. Anabhishwangaha, putradara grihadishu, vivikta desha sevitvam. All these are there. But to pick one, aratihi janasansadi. We get attached to people. We want to be amidst people. We want to be invited to parties. We want to be in the midst of things. We want to belong many places. We want to get popular in many ways. Different people get caught in this wanting to be in touch with many in different ways. Some may be on the platform, some may be on some other role. Whatever it is, very few people in this world can enjoy staying by themselves. And this staying by themselves also is not to be misunderstood as a dislike for people. Therefore, we have taken liberty to translate enjoy company when life brings you company, enjoy solitude too, if that is how some days of yours are going to be. Either way, our self worth, the sense of being good, the sense of I am okay, should not depend on praise and recognition by people. These days, what you call that? Facebook friends. I have 700 FB friends, Facebook friends, someone says. And somebody commented, there was a guy who had a lot of Facebook friends, but when he died, there was nobody around because these Facebook friends are all over the world. And this guy who had 700 Facebook friends was not having good relation with his neighbors. What a tragedy. So, that example apart, can we be free of this hankering after numbers and limelight, fame, name, etc.? If they come, that's different. We are not against it, but I use the word, hankering after. So how many of us can truly sit on a bench like there is this picture of a little boy watching the full moon? Rati. Rati means being attached. Janasansad is crowd. And one is not attached to crowds. In this way, Lord Krishna throws a lot of precious light on a state of mind which neither avoids people nor becomes dependent on them, people, things, and so on. There is a movement of freedom through life and life scenarios, and for that, the ways and means, the necessary spiritual practices are, of course, also given in the Gita. As we did last time, here also I place all 6 at one go in this last slide. Padma Patramivambasa, like the lotus leaf. Though I missed water, not getting wet, though we are with people, handling money and matters, can we remain psychologically free? Asanga shastrena dhrudena chitva. Cut your false values with strong inner wisdom and detachment. Rajoguna gives us Rajoguna gives us a kick of some kind, but that raga which Rajoguna promotes is not going to give us true peace. And our sattvika karma should be free of both raga and dvesha. We must grow in love of truth, love of God, and that requires that we are neither attached to people nor have any vaira, any enmity. And hankering after crowds, popularity is something again where we have to stand guard against. We have to stand guard against it. Let me pause here. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Over to all of you to make a comment or ask a question.
Swamiji, I have a question. My name is Chandrasekhar.
Chandrasekhar is every day having a question. That's wonderful. Please do.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Thank you, Swamiji. Most of the people listening to you, we are all senior citizens. Anyhow, we are slowly getting detached, or things are making us detached.
Yeah.
This knowledge should be given to young people so that
Hmm.
they will really get the benefit.
Hmm. True, true, true.
But when I tell my daughter this,
Ah.
she says, no, I know. There's a problem. I don't know how to tell.
Yeah. I would suggest that, correct, I got your, don't give up. Don't give up here and there. After all, it's your daughter whom you love. Here and there, when you get a chance, share with her what you appreciate. But you know, everything has its time. Maybe at her age, you two were not much detached. I don't know. And sometimes, whatever you have said, at that moment, your daughter may make a face. She may not be very receptive. But who knows? Very next day, somewhere, she may remember, oh, my father had said it right. This is what he had meant. You don't know. It is not a waste. And you know, these youngsters, uh, they may not be inspired by the gurus who mean a lot to you, but they find some inspiration somewhere else.
Yep.
Today we find a lot of youngsters being drawn to Ravi Shankar, Jaggi Vasudev, and so on. And we at our time were lifted off our feet by Swami Chinmayananda and that kind of people. Therefore, we do our part. That's one more karma yoga, you know. Do your part, take middle path. You know, don't give them too much advice, but don't withdraw also. And the right thing will happen.
Hari Om Swamiji, this is Mudit.
Yes, Mudit ji. Nice to have you in
So
the
just
satsang. Yeah.
Pranam Swamiji.
Namaste.
Just an extension of Chandrasekhar ji's question. Children seem to observe, and they can see in their parents how they are practicing these values. We don't have to tell them.
Yeah. Very well said. Therefore, Swami Chinmayananda used to say, values are not taught, they are caught. Children notice how we are behaving and observing, as you rightly said. You know, they catch. Yeah. So that is the challenge before us. Therefore, we must improve our own daily sadhana, and then there will be some fragrance about our way of living, which they will catch. Thank you for that additional insight you have shared.
Swamiji, this is Rajan from San Jose.
Yes.
Your lectures, is it recorded someplace where we can listen to it, different times?
Yeah. Yes. I request Mohan Hejmadi or Nimish Sharma to clarify on it later. Yeah, the Zoom software itself has a recording feature, and they are going to do something with that. Yes. In addition, you might notice even I am also doing a little audio recording that is also available. But Zoom has video recording with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Just check with us. Check with Mohan Ejmadi or Nimish Sharma later where it's available.
It is even available. I'm Priya Natarajan speaking. Even your talks are available on YouTube also, isn't it?
Previous talks, not this series.
This one. This series is not available.
No, not yet. This one, not yet. That also Mr. Hajmadi will clarify. On YouTube, in order to make it a channel, and live channel, there are some conditions. He will clarify all that.
Okay.
Right now, no, it's not on YouTube. It's not on
Your,
Facebook.
But
your last
Swamiji,
talk on Zoom by EQ and SQ was available on YouTube.
Swamiji,
Because that was not our package. That was
Okay.
taken by Madras Management Association.
Okay, fine.
And Madras Management Association has a channel on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So because it was their channel, it went on air on Facebook, on YouTube, and on something else, and on Zoom. Four media. Whereas this is going on presently, these 7 lectures, with our own subscription to Zoom. That is yet to be upgraded, or we are yet to get a YouTube channel of our own.
Swamiji. Swamiji.
Yeah, speak. Mohan is speaking.
Yeah, still we get the YouTube channel, just like other webinar recordings.
Correct.
Even this will be downloaded on the Fawai Forum website.
Correct.
Through the Fawai Forum website, it will be available. We will communicate to you. Maybe before the last day, we will give you all the details where you can go through this. You can see these recordings, video recordings, to the Fawai Forum YouTube channel.
Hari Om Swamiji, Uday from Palo Alto, California.
Yes, Uday Babelari. Go on.
Yeah, I have heard from you, or maybe even Swamiji before. One has to, in daily life, has to have attached detachment.
Yeah.
So attachment is very easy. Detachment is very difficult.
Yeah.
How one should practice on a daily basis this attached detachment? If you can explain it, that would be helpful.
Yes. Attach, detach. We attach to the higher. That enables us to detach from the lower. Therefore, even as a modern motivational guru, Robin Sharma says, he has brought out a wonderful book called the 5 a.m. Club, Robin Sharma. So Robin Sharma talks about how the first 1 hour in the everyday life is extremely important. And there he says, do exercise, do contemplation, and do some, study. So that is the attaching process. If we somehow manage just 20 minutes of some asana pranayama, we attach ourselves to something higher. And that day, because we have done some asana pranayama in the morning, we go to work, we meet people, definitely we are in a better position to detach from some wrong ways which we were known for in earlier situations. Detaching from wrong ways. Suppose I used to yell at some, upon finding some fault at my subordinate, I used to yell. So I don't yell this time. I just tell him, look, again, you made this mistake. Be careful, in a soft and nice way. So that is detach. But what empowered me, what enabled me to do that is the morning prayer or morning yogasana or morning study, morning walk. So there are a few good things we must do which generate certain sattvic energy in us, which then helps us to detach from some adharmic or unhealthy ways of interaction.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Welcome.
Swamiji, Subramaniam from Dallas.
Yes.
I just want some clarification. The words have an effect on us. Detachment sometimes comes as a negative. Would it be appropriate, renounce and rejoice, or something more positive words will have a little better connection to your actions? I mean, just want your comment.
Certainly. So whenever you find you are talking to somebody, and as the idiom goes, the word detachment is like a red rag to the bull. There's an idiom, red rag to the bull. The bull gets, very wild. So if you find that while talking to somebody, that other person doesn't like the word detachment, then you have to use some word which makes better sense to him. So you may have to tell him or tell her, can we look at this from a larger angle of view? Can we see this? Can we see the broader picture? These words they like. If you say detachment, they'll say, "Ah, come on, that Swami who visits you every year has, made you all this." They will blame your gurus also. It says 2 hands are raised, 2 participants raised hand. Who are they and how do I know?
Yes, Swamiji. Hari Om, this is Bill from Santa Fe. Swamiji, I missed the 11:55 slide. Can you post it again?
Which slide did you miss?
11:55.
Oh, 11. I'll do one thing. I'll send you all the slides this evening,
Okay, Hari Om. Thank
Take
you,
a look
Swamiji.
at it. That is that. All the slides will come to you. I'll make
Thank
a
you.
note.
Hari Om Swamiji.
But, somebody asked about videos. The slides also will be made available to all that our organizers will announce to you. Bill will get it today itself. Bill from Santa Fe who asked this question. He'll get it within next 2 days. Yeah, somebody said Hari Om. Go ahead.
Hari Om Swamiji. My name is Shiv. I'm from the West Indies. Swamiji, my question is, vasanas are what propel Raga Dvesha. Is it correct to say we can rehabilitate these vasanas, or should they be, should sadhana be done to remove these vasanas completely?
It's enough if you rehabilitate them. It's enough if you bring them under certain control. Because even enlightened people have certain likes and dislikes, but they are within limits. In fact, our favorite way of putting it is somebody who loves, tea, continues to love it after enlightenment also. Not that enlightenment will make him love coffee now. So, vasanas, you use the word rehabilitation. Vasanas have gone wild, let us say, in our case. So those vasanas can be brought within reasonable limits. It can be a part of our lifestyle. It can be a part of our culture without harming anybody. If I love music, if I love some good food, and if I have a few friends whom I value a lot, that's not a problem by itself. Rehabilitation is possible through sadhana.
Thank you,
Swamiji. Say something?
Pardon? Yeah.
Swamiji Ramnath from Namaste.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, 2 things struck me. One of them was a beautiful comparison of the metaphor you gave about Kamala, how lotus in detachment. Padmapatra. So what struck me was how meaningful detachment as a cardiologist is how blood circulates in our body. You see, blood is an organ. If you ask system which organ belong to, has no meaning. We all system, nervous system, kidney, renal system, pulmonary system. But blood is circulating, doing its job of delivering useful work of oxygen to the tissues and nourishment, picking up all the waste products and circulating and doing its thing. But it is perfectly detached. It does not belong to any one organ. So that is meaningful detachment. As you are doing your karma yoga, you are keeping that detachment. And you're also useful to the community. That is so similar to what you said about Kappa. It's in the water, but detachment. Does it make sense to you?
Did I get you right? Are you saying just like lotus leaf is detached?
No, yeah.
Blood also is detached. It serves all the organs in the body. Is that your point?
Yeah, but it is not attached to any particular organ, but it is
right. It
meaningful
flowing.
and useful.
Yeah.
The second thing is Chandrasekhar mentioned a point about exposing these kinds of talks and presentations to youth. I think the reason why we are meeting you and connected to you today is a culmination of the samskara that you grew up with over your childhood. We were all young at one point, or younger at one point. I think the way to do that for our youngsters here is to keep exposing them to that. You never know what strikes them, like keeping a good book in your library. At some point, they connect to that. May not be today, but some other time. I think you build a samskara and then it'll come to that. I would give it up as you.
Right. Well said. Both your points are well taken. And as a cardiac surgeon or cardiologist, you have rightly connected Geeta to the blood circulation. Wonderful.
Swamiji, Sai Prakash here.
Yes, Sai.
Yeah, actually, in one of your talks, I think on Shankaracharya's Upanishads Bhashyas, you said that if one has a desire and he has the means to achieve what he wants and still goes away from it, that is really a good level of detachment. So I'm just wondering which one of the 6, punchlines you gave links to that.
Oh yeah, almost all of them. Take for example, Sattvika Karma. So where I highlighted Araga Dveshata Kritam. So one is doing without raga or dvesha. So when one says one is doing without raga or dvesha, it implies the ability, the capacity to let go of a reward if the situation warrants that.
Yeah. But in this case, the fellow has raga actually. He wants to do something. And he is capable of doing, because I just look at it for many people, that is a fact of life. They want to do something, they're not able to do it, so they keep on to it. Or they may leave, in case if they leave at that time, that means it is out of, unhappiness they leave, not that they're living happily or whatever it is. So anyway, it's interesting. So
they have to work on that unhappiness. Why should they be unhappy? So we perhaps can take one more question, then we will have a short bhajan.
Swamiji, this is Piyul here.
Yes.
Swamiji, today we spoke of the 7th verse in the 14th chapter, where we said that, Rajas ties us down to endless karma and detachment is really going from Rajas to Sattva.
Yeah.
And 2 days back, when we were speaking of wisdom of mood regulation, we spoke of 14.5, where we said even Sattva binds you.
Yes.
And that was the 5th verse of the 14th chapter.
Correct.
So I'm just wondering, maybe we are thinking in our, current mind. I would think that shouldn't the fact that you go from Rajas to Sattva come first and then you say that Sattva binds you? How come, it's the other way around? That first, it already says Sattva binds you and then it says now you go from Rajas to Sattva.
Yeah. That is because the style of Bhagavad Gita in a lot of chapters is not just in a linear fashion. One gives a summary, then one gets into the details, one again gives a summary, again goes into details. Therefore, Sri Krishna gives an advanced summary that all these 3 qualities bind us. Then when he gets down to details, he goes slowly from what binds us a lot, what binds us a little less, what binds us the least, and where is the state of no bondage. Therefore, it seems that one has gone ahead and come back, but that is deliberate. Yeah. I hope I made the point clear. One is giving a full picture and then one goes step by step. So
understood, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, all 3 do bind. There is no going back on that. But saying that well in advance is like an advance summary.
Okay, got it, Swamiji.
Okay, so sorry, some other participants have raised a hand, but we may take them in another session. Or you are welcome to write to the organizers questions. You will get reply over email.
Yeah. Now for the next few minutes, let us remain calm and quiet. Archana is going to sing a prayer. Let us turn our attention to the prayer and remain peaceful. Now Archana will start.
Hari Om. Hari Om Swamiji. So today I'll sing Madhurastakam because Swamiji has also said about Bhagavad Gita on Krishna. Adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram hridayam madhuram gamanam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram vachanam madhuram charitam madhuram vasanam madhuram valitam madhuram chalitam madhuram भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् वेणोर्मधुरो रेणोर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम् मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् करणं मधुरं चरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम् गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरम् ओम शांति।
Thank you, Archana.
Om Swamiji, thank you.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you all.